memories and souvenirs free to pay. Wow. Master John Hook, I'm playing the sevens on I Love Beach Music one more time right after this.
How would you like to win $1,000 in cash for Christmas? Of course you would. And you can if you register.
the tradition.
Every day I get to put those 4 letters across my chest.
The Blue Devils have scaled basketball's tallest mountain for the 5th time.
With passion.
Pulls up for the 3. Got it!
All that matters is winning games. That's what Duke is built on.
Give it go. And he dunks it home.
This is Duke basketball.
Are we going to make some noise this year?
Look away for the 2-hand check.
Comes free from 3 and buries it dead on.
Follow the Blue Devils all season long on your home for Duke basketball.
Duke, North Carolina, and Clemson basketball. Right here on the Boss in Carolina Country and online at KTCBroadcasting.com. You may not know this, but the best greens of the Carolinas are right here in Shelby and Cleveland County at the Riverbend YMCA Golf Course. People continue to rave about the condition of the greens. Russell Spangler has worked hard to make them tip-top shape for your round of golf. And course manager Phil Wallace invites you to come on by and play. Call for their special rates at 704-482-4286 or visit the website at riverbendymcagolf.com. Call for your tee time today.
That chilly rain is with us for the rest of the day today, not making it a lot of fun if you have a lot of errands to run for the holidays. Our high temperatures in the low to mid-50s this afternoon. Our skies gradually clear overnight tonight. The rain ends. Temperatures in the upper 30s to near 40, but there's likely to be some fog tomorrow morning. Once that burns off, we'll see mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. It does stay cool with high temperatures on Thursday in the low 50s. I'm Elizabeth Gardner in the Weather Center.
Currently at the Big Old Country Studios, it's 4:03.
Coyote, coyote, coyote. That tractor's all you talk about anymore.
But, honey, my Coyote can...
Yes, your Coyote can clear fields, move mulch, mow the lawn, and...
Honey.
Yes, dear.
I don't have the problem talking about the Coyote. You do.
I know, but it's such a great tractor.
That's what I've been trying to say.
Yes, but it sounds better coming from me.
Visit www.kioti.com.
Your Coyote dealer is West End Sales, Highway 1827 intersection in Vail.
Coyote, run ahead of the pack.
Happy holidays from KTC Broadcasting. You are listening to the best in sports right here on WCSL 1590 AM.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year.
Welcome out to the WCSL KTC Broadcasting. It's the best in sports here on a Wednesday. Your host, Tim Johnson, and the man right beside of me is Santa Claus, folks. I'm telling you, he's playing Santa Claus today. We're talking about Mr. Kenny Link from Lincoln's very own. Kenny, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you. I don't know that I'm Santa Claus, but I sure am here to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Only 5 days to the big day coming up, and we're looking forward to it. We hope everyone out there has a Merry Christmas.
I'm telling you, Kenny, I'm excited. I know all the little kids out there. Kevin Hastings had his little girl in here, Miss Isabel, and she's running all over this radio station. She's getting ready for Christmas, so I'm sure all the kids out there in Cherryville and Lincoln County and I see Catawba County, and I see let's go to Shelby, let's go to Gaston, Cleveland County. Everybody's ready for Christmas, Ken.
They're ready.
I'm telling you, Ken.
And Tim, we're ready to talk a little bit of sports. We've had a big sports story that's broke right in our area here, and we're going to talk about those Carolina Panthers and everything that's been going on in the last 4 days and what we found out in the last 4 days. And there's a lot happening, folks.
Yes, Ken, and we're going to start things off with the Carolina Panthers, Ken. We were down there this past Sunday for the Green Bay Packers game where the Carolina Panthers defeated Green Bay and then played a great game. Got to go in there and talk to some of the football players, stuff like that after the game over with. Saw Cam, and Cam had a great game. I think he had 4 touchdown passes. Is that right?
Yeah, no interceptions.
No interceptions.
Also rushed for over 60 yards.
Absolutely.
Completely outplayed Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, only took on 1 game, and he's back on the IR now.
Ken, he had 3 interceptions. That was unbelievable. I don't think, like I told you during we was there sitting down, I said, I ain't seen Aaron Rodgers throw 3 interceptions probably in the season like that.
Well, he hasn't done that.
I mean,
so it was unusual for him, but the Panthers, I give them some credit. It wasn't Rodgers had them right there trying to drive them for that tying touchdown, and a big turnover forced by Bradbury that iced the game right there. But it's a great game to watch, and we enjoyed it. But, Tim, all the talk down there was about Jerry Richardson, the Panthers, and Shortly after that game, we saw that the official letter was sent by Jerry Richardson saying he's going to sell the Carolina Panthers.
Yes, and that's a sad, sad news, Ken, coming out of the Carolina Panthers organization there. You know, Ken, we've been following this ever since it first came out, first reported last Friday that Mr. Richardson announced about the internal investigation and was involving workplace misconduct. That was what was stated. And now that we understand that they were 4 women, I believe it was, within the organization that worked for the Carolina Panthers have came out and made accusations and allegations against Jerry Richardson, the owner of the Carolina Panthers. And, you know, Ken, you know, everybody out there is innocent till proven guilty, but he signed a confidential agreement and paid four or five employees off. One of them was a scout, I believe, over racial slurs. But he paid 4 of his employees off, women that worked for him, in a confidential agreement, a settlement. And, you know, to me, Ken, that's guilty.
Yeah, it does look like
that's the facts.
And
you know
here's the other thing that doesn't look good is on Saturday, the NFL said, well, we're taking over that investigation. Guess what, Tim? They were going to have it all along.
Yes.
That was a smokescreen on Friday. But and then Sunday, that's when the Sports Illustrated article broke with this information you just mentioned about the allegations from 4 former female employees and a racial slur toward an Afro-American scout that was formerly with the team. And Tim, then he comes out with his letter saying, I'm going to sell the team. If there wasn't more to it, then he wouldn't have done that. So I think there's more coming, evidently, more than these 4 or 5 we already know about.
It's like a snowball, Ken.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it's going to get bigger. I hate that for the organization. Jerry Richardson has been great for the community of Charlotte, for both Carolina, South and North Carolina. I mean, you know, we're really close to Rock Hill and surrounding areas and stuff like that. I know that Mr. Richardson, he brought the NFL to Charlotte, to the Carolinas. And
he did, and when in doing so, it really opened up the sports market here in Charlotte. Tim, back in 1993, I think it was, and he and his ownership group paid $206 million. They value the team right now. It was valued back in September at $2.3 billion. They now saying that probably the sale with probably the going price is going to be between $2.5 billion and $2.8 billion. Bottom line, Mr. Richardson made a lot of money off this team. There's no doubt about that.
He did, without a doubt.
He and the other minority owners.
Sure.
He owns, just be specific and accurate about it, Mr. Richardson is the majority owner. He owns 48%. And then there's some minority owners, but he owns 48%.
Do we know any of the minority
I know
owners?
3 that
do you know any of them?
3 that I read about that are minority owners that somebody listed as potential maybe candidates to want to be a majority owner, but I don't know if they would do that or not. But Steve and Jerry Woodsworth, this couple owns 16% of have ownership. Levine family, which is the founder of the Family Dollar stores, I think, they own 10%. And the Belt family of the Belt department stores, which was sold out a couple years ago, they own 5%. Those are the only ones I know. There probably are some other minority owners, but those are the ones that I read about that was mentioned that, maybe they may have some interest or may have some interest in remaining minority owners. Just to be clear, Jerry Richardson can sell out his 48%.
Right.
If they decide to do that. Now
they could buy him out, in other words.
Yeah,
or keep the team.
New owners coming in could say, we want to buy the whole thing and have our own ownership group.
And we're going to talk about some potential buyers, too, coming up here in a little while.
But to be clear, he could sell out his 48%, and that they could still go forward. Between me and you, I don't think it'll be that way. I think whoever buys it wants to have a group that comes in, or one person or whatever, to buy the whole thing and have ownership of it.
Well, I don't even think the Wordsworth, the 16%, and the Levine family, and the Belt, they probably want to get out of it too.
They may too. That's what I'm saying. So so we'll see. I mean, there's all kind of possibilities about where it's going to go as far as the sale of this team. What he said was he would not be any kind of discussions at all about selling it until the last game is played by the Panthers in this 2017 season.
Now, the person who took over from Mr. Jones for day-to-day operations is Tina Becker. Tina's been with the company for close to 20 years. Is that correct, Ken?
Yes, she started as a cheerleader for the Panthers, and then she was next position. She was head of the entertainment, director of the entertainment for a couple years, and then she got involved in different other aspects of the organization. She's been there almost 10 years. And she has been promoted as a COO. She is the chief operating officer. She will head up day-to-day operations.
The buck stops with her. I mean, it stops with her.
Stops with her. She is the highest-ranking female executive in the NFL.
So she's taking on. His day-to-day.
Somebody said, "Well, don't most teams have a president?" Yes,
they did have one,
and they did have one till this past February. And Danny Morrison resigned and went into the college ranks, and they never replaced him. So that position that he had was never replaced when he resigned in February.
And also Dave Gettleman, the general manager of the Carolina Panthers, he was fired too.
He was fired
as well. Training camp.
And Hurney was brought in as what they called a interim GM. Of course, he's sitting there, and that interim might be a year or two. We don't know what's going to happen, but those are the events that we've seen in the last 4 days, Tim. And
so give me your take. Let's think about this. Here's a man that in the public's eye, every time you saw him on TV or something like that, he just looks like he's a first-class individual. I mean, just a great person to be around. And I'm not saying he's not, but I'm just saying as a image for what he showed us, it's almost like he's two different people, Ken.
Well, here's the thing about it. He always wanted a good, clean image. He even, he wanted his fans to dress and act a certain way. He didn't like people coming in there and taking their shirts off and all that kind of stuff. And he always, act as if he didn't want anybody in the community that did things that were looked down upon or had a criminal past or a criminal record.
Shamed his organization.
Shamed his organization, a good way of putting it. He didn't want that. He's always had that image. But Tim, as
I have no problem with that. I have no problem.
I don't
with
either.
That.
And if we've heard a lot of people that's had dealings with him in the past, ex-players, ex-people in the front office, and they've all had just great things to say about how he treated them and always asking for input and those kind of things. But he did have a code, and I think they said he had and I don't know what all the 5 pieces of his code was, but one of those pieces was he would be called Mr. Richardson. That's how he wanted to be addressed,
Mr. Richardson,
by everybody in his organization, Mr. Richardson.
Well, I met Mr. Richardson as who he is. Met him numerous times at Quail Hollow. He's a member there, and also he lives there at the club there. And I do a lot of work there, and I've been there for 17, 18 years. And he was always real nice, real sociable. But you always addressed him as Mr. Richardson, and that was without a doubt. They have a lot of celebrities. Rick Hendricks is a friend of mine. I know Rick well. Do a lot of work for him. Also, Jimmy Johnson's a member there. I mean, there's a lot of big name celebrity people with a lot of deep pockets at that club, and when you're around people like that, they have a certain image about them, and every time. Since all this stuff came out, I just keep playing it back in my head. I can't imagine. I told you the other week. I said, "There's no way in the world." I just can't imagine.
I can't either.
Him turning out to be like that.
And that's what people trying to wrap their hands around, the image that he projected to the public, and then what they're finding out now, and just looking at it from the outside as somebody that's not prejudiced one way or the other. Tim, is that not what you call hypocritical?
I would think so. I mean,
you say one thing
I've had
and
conversations.
project one thing, and then you're completely different.
Ken, I've had conversations with Mr. Richardson, and he never came across as that type of person. Never. I mean, and I'm shocked to hear these allegations and accusations, stuff like that. But they have become facts, and it's bothered me because, he did a great thing for Charlotte.
Oh, he did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he did.
You know, he brought NFL football to the community of Charlotte, Carolina, and, you know, Sacker and our surrounding areas.
Well, one of the things we talked about, Tim, and you asked this question.
And there's a chance we could lose our team now.
Yes, and we'll talk about that here in a minute
Sure.
more. But one of the things that we you got to wonder about is say, this happened in the past. Why is it coming out now? Well, I think the reason it's coming out now is this
because all the
Me Too movement that's gone all the way across the country, where women feel more emboldened to say, I'm going to come out and talk about what happened if they've had things in the past that's been sexual harassment. And I think that's why it's coming out now.
You're right, Kenny. I agree with you 100%. Hey, folks, you're listening to the best in sports right here on KTC Broadcasting. Tim Johnson, Ken Link. We're here every Wednesday from 4 to 5. We're going to take a short break and let Elvis do some singing here for us, Ken, because Santa Claus is right around the corner, and we'll be back after these commercials.
Hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
You are the best station. I love the station.
Big O Country, 1590 AM, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com. The RVer's most trusted resource for over 50 years. That's Campers Inn, family owned and operated since 1966. And this area's dealer is Campers Inn in Kings Mountain, Highway 161 South at I-85. Campers Inn is the nation's largest family-operated RV dealership with 16 locations along the East Coast. From motorhomes to travel trailers and more, from the industry's leading manufacturers, plus award-winning RV sales and service. Campers Inn, Highway 161 South at I-85 in Kings Mountain. Tell them Calvin sent you in to the Campers Inn.
The winter rates and hours are now in effect at the Deerbrook Golf Course on Highway 180 North in Shelby. Play and ride Monday through Friday for just $33, or after 12 p.m. for just $28. Play and ride weekends for $42, or afternoons for $35. Seniors, you can play and ride Monday through Friday for just $28. Call for your tee time at 704-482-4653, or visit their website at DeerbrookGolfClub.com. The Deerbrook Golf Club, the friendly golf club.
Some tax services hire temporary employees, run them through a quickie training course, and then turn them loose preparing taxes. But at AccuTrol Income Tax Service in Gastonia, your return is too important to trust poorly trained preparers. They're there year-round, open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. Wouldn't you rather have experience on your side? See AccuTrol Income Tax Service, located at 428 West Main Avenue in Gastonia. Call 704-864-8767 for experience and professional service.
Hi, I'm Sherry Hefner, the pastor's wife at the First Baptist Church of Cherryville. Proverbs 22:6 says, "Teach your children the way they should go, and when they grow up, they will not depart from it." As a mother of 4 teens and young adult children, I can attest to the many challenges of Christian parenting in these modern times. That is why this scripture is such a comfort to me. I can rest assured knowing that regardless of the choices my children may make in life, they can never get away from the godly upbringing that my husband and I have provided for them. Are you laying a godly foundation for your children? This is Sherry Hefner of First Baptist Cherryville, where we strive to accomplish all things through Christ.
Hey, this is Milton Baker from Memory Lane Antiques and Finds in downtown Krause. Well, we're heading down the home stretch toward Christmas, aren't we? Just wanted to tell you, you can come by Memory Lane and do some last-minute Christmas shopping. We've got plenty of stuff for everyone. Old stuff, new stuff, usable stuff, wearable stuff, snow sleds if we get another big old snow. We've got it all at Memory Lane Antiques and Finds in downtown Krause. Come by and see me or Crystal, Ted, Candace, or Cheyenne at Memory Lane Antiques and Finds in downtown Krause, where we say Merry Christmas proudly.
More than 7.7 million American teenagers participate in high school sports every year, including about 214,000 here in North Carolina. They're all learning essential life lessons, like the importance of hard work, time management, and self-discipline, skills that are helping them become better leaders and more active, responsible citizens. This message presented by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association.
The Carter Chevrolet Swap Shop on Big O Country, 1590 AM, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia, online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Hi, Ken Link here from the Best in Sports Show. I'd like to wish everyone a happy holidays from KTC Broadcasting.
Happy holiday.
We're back here on the Best in Sports Show here on WCSL 1590 on your dial. Wishing everyone a happy holiday and Merry Christmas here. We've been talking sports. We've been talking about the biggest sports story in this area in 2017 and probably in the history of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Absolutely, Kenny. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You know, we were talking about last week how we're going to our last show for this year will be next Wednesday, and we're going to just highlight everything back in 2017. Ken, this is 2017 with this, you know, I guess say a black eye for the Carolina Panthers when it comes to Mr. Richardson, what's happened with his organization. And this is not nothing toward the coaches or the players or even the people, the staff or anything like that. I mean, they're wonderful people, and they've treated us like absolutely kings down there at the press box when we go down to cover the Carolina Panthers and so forth. And we've just had a blast.
And we were down there this past Sunday and enjoyed it. But boy, that was all the scuttlebutt and discussion during that game. It was a great game. But this was a huge story that was breaking right as we were there, you know, this whole weekend.
You know, Kenny, and we were told, you know, during the game, you know, it's right at halftime, we got a hot dog and some folks I was sitting with, talking to them, some reporters and stuff like that, a couple from ESPN. They pretty much said he's going to sell. That's before we even knew.
Yeah,
he's selling the team.
He's
going to
sell it, and sure enough,
that happened. I came back and told you.
The letter, he didn't officially make it public till after the game, but it was shortly after the game when he made it public. So he actually wrote a letter saying his intent was to sell, but he would not be in any kind of discussions or negotiations with anyone until after the last game of the season played by the Panthers.
Potential buyers of the Carolina Panthers, you know, Kim, me and you have put our thoughts together and stuff like that. Some good people that would, you know, come in here and keep the organization in Charlotte, and that's what we want. We want the Panthers. I mean, when you think of the Dallas Cowboys, they're not anywhere else in the world other than Dallas. And if you think the Redskins are in Washington, Pittsburgh, you know, to me, Carolina Panthers is Carolina. It's Carolina. You know, so, you know, we want to keep the Panthers here. So one of the people, Ken, that you had down was James Goodnight. He's supposed to be the richest North Carolina resident with $10 billion. He's worth that much, and he's co-founder of SAS. And John Sal, second richest North Carolina resident, co-founder of SAS as well, SAS, Goodnight, and Sal, that is, own a country club and hotel together.
Yeah, these two guys, Tim, are you familiar with SAS? It's a software company that was founded and is housed in Cary, North Carolina, and being a little bit involved in the IT industry and some of.
I didn't realize that. That's why I got you for. That's why I got you for that.
Some software. I've seen some SaaS products as far as software products, but anyway, they sell these products all over the world, and obviously they made a fortune out of this, and they sold that business just a few years back. And made a lot of money. Now they're rich, and they still partnership in some other ventures like that.
So it's a software
club, but the software company where they made their.
Well, that's where money is.
Where they're made their billions.
Yes.
But they sold the company, and they've got money. Now that doesn't mean they've shown any interest. It's just some folks that got some money. And we mentioned before that the minority owners. I don't know whether they'd be interested or not. Another one I want to mention, I actually had it down here in the wrong place.
Kenny, before you get to the top one you got on this list, let's talk about the other ones, because the top one on this list, I like that idea. So let's skip on the outside part here. The top one, this gentleman, you got number one here. You know what I'm talking about? I want to get him last because I'm going to tell you, you know, he's a Hall of Fame owner.
Yeah, but
yes.
I had one down here in the outside, and he obviously is an inside North Carolina. Let's talk about Joe Gibbs.
Yes, he's the one. Yes.
He's the one.
He's one that I would love for him to get. But there's another person on here, too, that would be great for our community, too.
Yeah, but Joe Gibbs, obviously he's well-known and very successful in the NFL and NASCAR, well-respected and well-liked throughout North Carolina. Now, Tim, he hadn't shown any interest, but – he's so well liked and respected. If he was to be a part of some kind of ownership group, he doesn't have his deep pockets, some of these guys, but that would be great for the area in North Carolina.
He lives in Charlotte.
Because he is a presence and somebody that's well liked. Now, I don't even know that's a possibility. But we was talking about some folks inside North Carolina, so I'm going to list him. Now, if you want to go outside North Carolina, in other parts of the country, we can talk about those. Let's hit a couple of those.
Let me tell you something, Ken. If Joe Gibbs came to my door and I was a very wealthy man, I would give him the money because he is a championship kind of guy, and he's proven himself, whether it's NFL, NASCAR. I mean, he would be, to me, I would love for him to get this team, with some investors too.
And he has ventured in other sports. You said NASCAR. He's also into dirt bike racing as well. So
yes, he is. So great person. All right, John Bon Jovi. Now he's an interesting person. He's very interesting. And I'm gonna tell you something. I said he was running for the sale for Buffalo Bills. Don't be surprised if he don't put his bucks in the in there for the, or put his money for in the group for trying to get the team. I think John Bon Jovi might. Well, he might could get it. Ken.
Well, they said he was runner-up in the bid to buy Buffalo. Now, Buffalo went cheaper than what this is going to go, but he was runner-up, so, I mean, he could be interested again.
Absolutely.
He obviously let's put it this way, Tim. Buying a franchise in Buffalo, I think the franchise in Charlotte is a lot more attractive.
A lot more attractive,
Now, it's going to be a little more expensive, but it is much more attractive. Much better market.
Yes, I agree with you there. And if you think about Buffalo, ever since Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas and all the great football players that played in all those Super Bowls, they're gone. That team has never been nothing.
And I think the guy who actually got to buy the Buffalo was somebody who was a Buffalo resident native, and so he had a lot of interest there.
Yes.
So that made sense.
All right, so now the next person, one of the next people you had on here, Ken, is David Tepper, hedge fund titan worth $11 billion, currently owns 5% of the Steelers.
Yeah, so I don't know whether he'd be interested, but he's already involved with the Steelers. Who knows?
Can you own two organizations like that, like in the NFL, like Steelers and?
Well, if he
would sell probably Steelers,
he'd have to get out of that if he had some interest.
I would think so too.
But it depends. I don't know how.
I've never heard of this guy before.
If he's got enough money and he's really interested in football, maybe he could say, "Hey, I want to get out of here and I want to be the 30% majority owner to buy the Panthers." Who knows? I don't know.
Is it Jeff Bezos or Bezos?
Yeah, Jeff Bezos. He's the founder of Amazon. Well, guess what, Tim? This guy's the richest man in the world right now. They say he's worth $100.
Is he interested?
$100 billion. No, I just listed him because. But here, I'll give you this though. I'm not saying he's interested, but there's a different angle here. With the what's going on with the NFL, a little bit of decline. They're losing some viewership on TV, and one of the reasons we haven't talked about is a thing called cutting the cord. And what that means is a lot of folks that watch a lot of football, some of them are getting rid of their cable, getting rid of their direct TV, and trying to stream stuff on devices,
on the internet
and stuff like that. That's what's called cutting the cord. Well, guess what? Who is more involved with the internet and what's going on and what you can do with it and that kind of stuff than the man who founded Amazon?
There you go.
So he could maybe help the NFL in that area if he was interested.
Hey.
And he certainly got the money.
Very wealthy man, $100 billion. Yeah, he's pretty wealthy. He's right up there with Jerry Jones.
I believe he got Jerry.
All right, Kenny. Now, here's an interesting character here now.
Now, this guy has his press interest.
Sean Diddy Combs has expressed, and matter of fact, I saw on ESPN before I come today, he's already in the works of getting people.
He said he's already getting meetings set up and all this stuff. He said he's serious. He's not playing.
Let me ask you a question, Ken. Okay, you're Roger Goodell and all the owners, board of directors and all that, whatever they have there. He comes up with $4 billion. $4 billion to buy the Carolina Panthers with investors, here and there and everywhere. You got this other guy over here, $3.4 billion or maybe $4.5 billion. Sean Diddy doesn't get it. He does not get the Panthers. And everybody out there should know this. There's in the NFL, there's white owners. White. All of them are white.
All of them are white. Yes.
Okay. And Sean Diddy said, on a statement,
he wanted to make history.
Yeah, he wanted to make history. It's time for
he wanted to have a black ownership group.
Yep. What do you think about that, Keenan? What if they turn him down?
Well,
I'm going to tell you right now.
It'll be a stink if they do.
It will be a black eye on the NFL.
Yeah, because they'll claim, didn't get a fair shake.
So he's already putting pressure on them through the media. Is what he's doing.
Yeah, he's getting it out there, and he's trying to play a smart game. Now,
and he's a smart man without a doubt.
And here's the other thing, Tim. The owners, they already have been accused of being a good old boys club.
Yep.
And it takes 23 out of the 32 to actually prove a buy.
You're right.
A sale, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So, it'd be interesting if that happened. Who knows?
Who's the head owner, Ken, of all the ownerships? Who's the man?
Well, I know Jones is up there.
And Robert Kraft is next.
Yeah.
I would say those two are the top dogs. Now, Kenny, this next guy, I wanted to leave him for last because I'll tell you right now, he gets my vote. Besides Joe Gibbs, he gets my vote because this guy is in a Hall of Fame as an owner. And, Ken, this would be – and you said he is very interested in the Carolina Panthers, but he said out of respect to Jerry Jones and the Carolina Panthers organization.
Jerry Jones.
I'm sorry, Jerry Rich. I got Jones on my mind today.
Got to be Jerry's in there.
I'm excited for the Cowboys. So
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but anyway, like you said, Eddie DeBartolo, the former owner of the San Francisco 49ers, has expressed his interest in the Carolina Panthers. And Ken, I'm gonna tell you right now, he gets my vote. Him and Joe Gibbs gets my vote.
He expressed. ESPN said he expressed interest, and he wouldn't make any more comments, like he said, because Mr. Richardson said he did not want to have any discussions or anything until after the last game's played. But this guy was and he was the owner, Tim, during the heyday of that dynasty of the 49ers winning those championships.
Yeah, he had good people. That's what I'm saying. Him and Joe Gibbs, they know football. Okay, these other people here that we, names we read off and stuff like that, you got singers, you got actors. You got people that don't know a lot about football, which I'm sure they would surround themselves with football minds. But, Joe Gibbs lived the life of football. DeBartolo lived the life of football. Championships, 5 championships.
Yeah. And the thing about Tim, they said he was as an owner, they loved him because he was very innovative, brought some good ideas to the NFL.
Sure.
Now, he got out because there was some – it was a legal issue he had with some.
It's a family matter.
Didn't have anything to do with football, but he got out and he actually turned everything over to his family and hadn't been back since. So he's a guy that knows football, got the money. He'll be an excellent guy.
He knows the inside and the outside.
Absolutely.
He knows how to start an organization and how to finish it by going to a Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. So this guy has got the right. He pulls the right strings.
He does, and so when I saw that, I go, "Wow, this is somebody that could be a serious." And the only 2 people expressed interest so far, and that's Puff Daddy and this guy. And this guy is a serious guy as far as somebody that you might want to really have as a strong, serious consideration of buying this thing.
The international side of the NFL, we've been playing over in Mexico for years, in London, England just started that a few years ago. So the NFL would like to expand out of the country. What if someone with an offer, say a larger than some of the people within the United States to move a team over there? What's the chances, Ken?
I think the NFL would look very hard at that, and they'd be pleased with the opportunity to expand because that's what they want to do. They want to get a team in another country. Something that we was talking a little bit with Kevin Hastings a few minutes ago. Something Kevin said that they've been playing 4 games over at London the last year. Well, heck, if you get a team over there, you don't have to play 4 more the home games, and that and then you only got 1 team having to travel there.
Yeah,
not 2 like they've had to have.
You're right. I agree with you.
So they and it's a known fact that Goodell and the owners would like to expand to another city outside of the country.
Do you think it's possible?
I think it's possible. Now,
I think that's what he's shooting for because that could be his name. Think about it, Ken. His name in lights.
Yeah, that'd be the legacy.
Yep. But would it hold up? That's the thing.
Well, we'll see. But now I'm not saying that's going to happen. That's a possibility.
Anything's possible in this world. All righty, Ken Link, the best in sports. It's a Merry Christmas from KTC Broadcasting here today.
Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop.
We're here from the start of your workday.
On my way to work.
Till quitting time.
Big O Country, WCSL, 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com. How would you like to win $1,000 in cash for Christmas? Of course you would. And you can if you register to win the $1,000 Christmas cash giveaway. Register with no obligation to buy at Parker Farm Service on Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain, at Renato Auto Mall on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, at Medical Center Pharmacy, East Academy Street in Cherryville, at Sandy Cunningham Nationwide Insurance Agency in Bessemer City, and on Highway 150 East in Cherryville, at Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks on East Garrison Boulevard in Gastonia, at Shelby Hardware on South Lafayette Street in Shelby, at Love Insurance Agency on East Main Street in Lincoln, at Bill Shuford Heating and Air on Campbell Street in Shelby, at Facet Foundry Jewelry Studio on South New Hope Road in Gastonia, at Mitchum's Kitchen, Highway 274 West in Vail, and at LDP Farms on Highway 18 North in Bellwood. The drawing will be held on Friday, December 22nd at 8 a.m. on the Boss in Carolina Country. So register to win the $1,000 Christmas cash giveaway from the Boss, Carolina Country, the What's Up Shopper, and KTC Broadcasting.
In today's housing marketplace, the advantage goes to the seller. Gaston County is becoming a go-to location for new home buyers, but a seller's advantage is only as good as the realtor involved. That's where Moss Realty comes in. They're dependable, honest, and hardworking for you, the seller. Give them a call at 704-865-5555 or log on to mossrealty.com. The number again, 704-865-5555. That's Moss Realty.
Register to win the world's largest Christmas stocking. One to be given away from Medical Center Pharmacy in Cherryville, one from Allen Drugstore in Stanley, and another from the Falston Pharmacy in Falston. Hey, that's not all. You can also register to win a Heavenly Ham. One will be given away every Friday now till Christmas. And it's not too late to get your flu shot at Medical Center Pharmacy, East Academy Street in Cherryville, at Allen Drugstore, downtown Stanley, and at the Falston Pharmacy on Highway 18 North in Falston. For over 100 years, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home in Falston has been providing services to families of our community with care and compassion. And now the Stamey Funeral Home has added the Cremation Center along with a new name, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center. The Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center on Highway 182 in Falston, and the Stamey Funeral Home in Cherryville, located on Dixie Street in Cherryville, serving you with care and compassion in your time of need.
Delivering nearly as much good cheer as Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas from everyone at Sheila's Sheds, 2104 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, and 2261 Lincoln and Highway in Cherryville. From Gaylord Brawley Insurance Agency, 1235 Falston Road in Shelby, and from Sizzin & Sons Paint and Body Shop, 2027 Shelby Road in Kings Mountain. Free classifieds at every edition of the What's Up Shopper, covering Cleveland, Lincoln, and Gaston counties. Place your free classified ad today in this week's What's Up Shopper.
It's Christmas time here at KTC Broadcasting. The best in sports here with you every Wednesday. WCSL 1590 Christmas is just around the corner, and I'm excited. I know, Kenny, you're excited. What you getting, Miss Teresa, for Christmas this year?
Oh, that's a secret. I couldn't tell that on the radio.
Is she listening?
No, she's not listening, but I still can't tell it on the radio.
Well, you tell her I said Merry Christmas and give her lots of sugar for me.
I hear you.
You know, Christmas is a great time of the year. And it's time where friends and family get together and celebrate. But most importantly, they celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and so often too many people forget what the holiday is all about.
All about, you're right.
But we're not forgetting it right here. We know it's about Jesus Christ, and that's the way we should be celebrating.
I'd like to say Merry Christmas to all the Hastings out there. Kelvin Hastings and his lovely wife, Miss Teresa. And, of course, Kevin, our boss, and his lovely wife. And those two adorable little kids he's got, Ken. And, of course, everybody else here at KTC Broadcasting.
Yeah, the whole KTC Broadcasting.
We'll say, hey, Merry Christmas
crew.
We love you guys.
Everybody that touches, from the salesman to everybody that's involved.
Milton Baker. Milton Baker's the best, man. Swap shot every
I
morning,
love listening to Swap Shot just for Milton. You know, there's other good stuff on there.
He's just funny.
As far as the deals, I like to listen to Milton.
Yeah, a little bit of comedy there. Milton's the best, I'm telling you, man. All righty, Kenny. Let's get to some.
Well, let's talk a little bit about. There was some happenings that happened on the field this weekend in NFL, and Tim, you and I talked a little bit about the Packer game. It was a good game. The Panthers came out and played well. Had a 2-touchdown lead. Sort of hung on at the end, but they're playing well offensively.
They're playing great. I mean, I'm going to tell you, on both sides of the football, and I tell you something, Kim, the offense kind of struggled the first of the year.
But not now.
They're clicking.
They're
putting points on the board, and Cam is protecting the football.
Yeah, I read a stat in the last 6 games. I think he's thrown 14 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. When you don't turn it over, Tim, and you get a few turnovers on the defensive side, that's a winning formula right there.
You can't
and
beat
they're
that.
running the ball well. They're getting it together at the right time. I'm telling you, this Panther team is a dangerous team going into the playoffs. The way they're playing, I'm not sure anybody would want to play them.
I agree with you 100%. Defensive side of the ball, Kuechly's playing well as Thomas. Thomas Davis is going to be out one game.
He's going to be out one game, but they'll survive that. And they play Tampa Bay, who really suffered a lot of injuries.
They should have beat Atlanta.
And they even, Atlanta's not playing that well. Tampa Bay almost beat them, and Tampa Bay had all kind of guys just dropping like flies with injuries going off the field. So I feel good about this week's game. Greg Olsen had a great game Sunday. He's back. He's back to normal form, and I'm feeling great about the Panthers.
He took over the second half.
We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into the playoff possibilities here. But, Tim, let's cover a couple other things that happen on the field. Here's one question. What is a catch in the NFL? Does anybody really know?
I'm telling you, I don't know. I mean, I've always understood, Ken, if you catch the football and take 2 steps, it's a catch.
Yeah. One thing Tony Dungy said, which I agree with, he said the NFL has complicated the catch rule to a point that nobody knows what a catch really is.
I agree with him there.
And here's the thing. You can read the rules, and you can understand how some of the interpretations are when they review these things because of the rules they've got. But still, a lot of times it looks like that don't make a lot of sense. You got to have an element of common sense that's involved in these rules and have a little bit of a leeway for the officials to factor in some common sense on the calls. For example, what is a football move? Is reaching the ball over the goal line a football move?
That's what I always thought it was.
So,
I mean, you just got to break the plane,
Yeah. So, but there are different interpretations about breaking the plane for ball carriers' possession of the ball versus pass receivers' possession of the ball in the process of making a catch, as the NFL defines that process of making a catch. For example, the play at the end of the Steelers and
the Jesse James catch.
Game. I mean, I understand why it was overturned reading the rules, but I still don't think
the ball moved.
I still think that should be a touchdown.
But let me ask you a question. Did he break the plane before the ball moved?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And that's what I said. He possessed the ball and made a football move to reach it across the goal line.
That's touchdown.
Full control. And he didn't lose it till after it hit the ground in the end zone.
His arm hit the ground, the ball came loose. Well, it didn't come loose, it just moved a little bit.
So that should be a touchdown. Not by the rules in the NFL, it shouldn't. But in reality, that makes sense. It should have been a touchdown.
Now, Kenny, you're a running back. Let's pretend you're a running back, and I'm quarterback, and we're on the one yard line, half a yard line. How many times in the past that you saw the running back jump over the pile and reach his hand over the pile just to get the ball across the goal line?
And once it breaks that plane, it don't matter whether he brought it back, fumbled it, whatever.
I've seen him fumble before.
It's touchdown.
I saw Emmitt Smith.
When you break that plane, it's a touchdown.
I saw Emmitt Smith fumble the football.
Sure.
And then he caught a touchdown because he broke the plane.
Yeah.
Now, how come I know it's back in the 90s, but how come that's not a touchdown, Ken?
Well, if you're
Jesse James, how come it's not a touchdown?
Well, because they said he's in the process of making the catch. And the way they define the process is such that they overruled that. And I don't think it's right. I think they really need to really address – they tried to make it easier for the refs, but they created more controversy. We learned this week, Tim, that it's beneficial for an NFL wide receiver to have a skinny butt.
You're right.
One butt cheek equals 2 feet.
I told you that was a touchdown. I told you it was.
And we found with Demir Byrd of the Panthers. And what was funny, Olsen was going nuts. You thought he was mad because he didn't get the ball. He was going nuts because he said, "Don't review it. You're wasting time out. It's not a touchdown. Not a touchdown." It was a touchdown. Afterwards, he said, "Way to go, guys. I was wrong."
Yeah,
but that just shows you how crazy it is.
Well, I mean, he probably in his mind said, "Well, hey,
it looked like
it's a touchdown, but they're not going to call it a touchdown."
Yeah, so it's funny. So that's what you got to know. One knee equals 2. One knee equals equals 2 feet. 1 elbow, 1 hip, 1 side, and probably part of the helmet. I guess that 1 head could equal 2 feet. Oh, Lord.
Index cards, Kens, and first downs. Kenny.
Why is it, Tim, that a multi-billion-dollar industry like the NFL are using sticks, chains, and index cards to get things right? Does that make any sense to you?
Ken, I'm going to send you to New York. I want you to represent us here at KTC Broadcasting with Roger Goodell. All right? Calvin, if Calvin's listening out there, Calvin, get him a plane ticket. We want him to take a trip to New York and maybe
but on a serious
have
note,
a meeting.
It's a serious note.
I don't understand that. That's crazy.
Could you not put some laser technology in that stick and you could tell for sure?
You would think so. You know,
I know
they do on TV.
Tennis uses a laser to figure out whether a ball was in or out.
Yeah, that makes I guarantee the NFL is going to check into that. I mean, that to me, that's just common sense.
Yeah.
Have a laser.
And the index card was just a prop. I mean, that didn't determine anything, and he explained that later. But still, it seems so. Oh my goodness!
Hey, he's a showman.
Yeah,
he's a showman. The ref of the Dallas Cowboys, and we're talking about the Cowboys and the Oakland Raiders on that play. But it was already a first down.
It was I thought the spot was a little bit off anyway.
It was.
But it was hilarious about how it all played out. And I said, "Are you kidding me? This is what we're down to now."
In the NFC. The Philadelphia Eagles, that is, the football team, leads with a record of 12-2. Cowboys are 8-6, and they're knocking on the door, Ken. I'm still not sure whether they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to win out, but they're going to need some help. The Atlanta Falcons or the Atlanta or Panthers got to get beat twice.
Yeah, you got to not have a lot of help, Tim. I don't know what all the scenarios are, but bottom line, you got to take care of your own business.
Well, here
and hope,
I'm going to give you a real quick scenario. Dallas got to win out. Atlanta and Carolina, one of them two's got to lose twice for them to get in. If Atlanta loses once and they win, they get in because of head-to-head competition.
I must say, Atlanta could very well lose twice because they've got the Saints and the Panthers in their last 2 games, and they didn't look that good last night against Monday night.
No. But the Saints and the Panthers, they lead with a 10-4 record. But Saints have the lead because of head-to-head competition.
Yeah.
Atlanta's 9-5. So if Atlanta goes 1-1, they're in the playoffs regardless. They're in there regardless. So that would knock Dallas. It don't matter what Dallas does, they're out. Now, if Atlanta loses if they lose against New Orleans, then they have to lose again. Carolina has to beat them. Now, if Carolina gets beat, listen to this. If Carolina gets beat by Tampa Bay and Atlanta loses to New Orleans, Dallas, if Dallas wins and say the winner between Atlanta and Carolina, Dallas is in the playoffs. Because if it'll be 10-6 and Dallas will be 10-6, well, see, if Carolina wins, 3 teams are going to go probably from the South. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, they very easily could. And if you look at the South, what's interesting is either one of those 3 teams could win a division.
They could, either one of them.
Possible. I'm not saying probable, but any one of them could.
But Saints is in the driver's seat. Saints, if they beat Atlanta.
Yeah, they beat Atlanta.
They're probably going to beat Atlanta. They're division winners.
They beat Atlanta this week. They win the division.
Yes. So, and then Atlanta and
Well,
the
I
Panthers,
say that. Unless they don't, they got a game at Tampa Bay, but
they ain't Tampa Bay ain't going to beat the Saints. In the AFC, how about north of the Minnesota? Minnesota leads with 11-3 record. Detroit is 8-6. Now, Detroit has an outside shot too, like the Cowboys do, but it's slim. In the AFC East, you got the New England Patriots leads with 11-3 record. The Bills are 8-6. I assume the Bills are still eligible to make the playoff. They're still in the running. They sure are. In the West, you got the Chiefs lead with an 8-6 record. Chargers are 7-7. Chargers are done. They're out of it. Pittsburgh leads with 11-3. Baltimore's 8-6. I don't see Baltimore making the playoffs. Jacksonville, I'm going to tell you right now, of all the teams right now in AFC, Jacksonville can beat New England, Ken.
They're playing well now, and their defense has been really stellar.
I'm going to tell you what, the safety or the cornerback, I believe it is, or safety, I can't remember, plays for the he was a number 5th pick overall or something like that, or 4th pick overall, 5th overall for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's a safety really good. He's like 6'2", 215. Dallas was knocking on his door to try to get him. If not, they're going to get Ezekiel Elliott, but they got Elliott. Well, anyway, this kid, they can match him up with Grunk. He can take Grunk out of the game. They'll beat New England.
Yeah, well, New England.
Don't be surprised if Jacksonville don't beat New England.
New England's been winning, but I still haven't been that impressed with them, Tim. I just really
Their
haven't.
defense is not that good.
Now Tennessee is second at division, 8-6 record. Tennessee's got a good team, and they got a shot at the playoff. But Tim, their last 2 games are the Rams and Jacksonville.
Wow.
So they got some business to take care of.
Yeah,
they don't have an easy way the rest of the way.
And Jacksonville, are playing to be 12-4, so they'll have a higher seed.
Sure they are.
If they go 12-4, they'll be the number 2 seed, Ken.
Yeah, they will.
I mean, that's impressive for that organization. And you know who's down at that organization, don't you? You know the guy from came from the Giants.
Yeah.
Tom.
Conklin.
Yeah, Tom Conklin. Yeah.
Speaking of the Giants, I understand that Mr. Gettleman, Dave Gettleman, interviewed for the GM job at the Giants today.
He fit really well there.
So he did have an interview.
He's probably the next GM, I would think. He's probably going to be the next GM there.
College football bowl games this week, Tim. There's a lot of games going on. Just a couple that's involving teams in either ACC or this area. On December 23rd, that'd be this Saturday, Appalachian State at 7 o'clock on the ESPN is playing in the Dollar General Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. And on December the 26th, the day after Christmas, Duke is against Northern Illinois, 5:15 on ESPN on something called the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit.
What do you know about Toledo? They're a pretty good football team. The
I
Appalachians
don't know anything about them, really, but we'll find out.
And that's Tom Coughlin, Ken. I meant to say, not Coughlin. Coughlin, Tom Coughlin there at Jacksonville, the GM.
Something I want to mention, Tim, a good gesture. Thomas Davis and his wife stepped up to help the state 4A champion Harding football team to get to championship rings. There's on a TV, a radio station trying to raise money to get rings. They'd only raised about $4,500. The total cost for the whole team was going to be $20,000. Davis and his wife saw that, said, "Hey, we'll make up the rest of the $15,000."
Well, I mean, he's a first-class guy.
He is.
I mean, you can't beat what Thomas Davis does for the community there in Charlotte. So, yes, absolutely, him and his wife are great people. High school basketball, Southern Piedmont 1A Cherryville is 8-3. Our Cherryville Ironmen having a really good season so far. They have won 4 straight. They defeated Thomas Jefferson, West Lincoln, Highland Tech this past week. Good basketball team.
Yeah,
always had a
well.
good basketball program
They're
there.
doing well, and we support Cherryville here on 1590 WCSL. And Tim, we're here in Cherryville, and we'll be heading over to Max Grill,
I'm telling you, man.
one of the places we really love to go every Wednesday, and chow down here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, Arnon, I'm sure he's expecting us to come. He's a really good friend of ours and a good friend of our show, too. Lincoln Charter 7-1, best basketball team in our area, Ken.
Yeah,
one of the best basketball teams in the state.
Yeah.
Top 5, I'd say.
And they playing the best teams. They lost last Wednesday night to defending 3A champion Cox Mill. He's got 2 Division I players, only by 2 points, and that was on the road, so they played well. And they're still playing people. They play 4A Independence next game. In the South Fork 2A, Tim, looks like it's just all jumbled up. We got Maiden, Bandy's, Lincoln, East Lincoln, and Lake Norman all with 2-1 conference records. And Newton Conover 0-2 and West Lincoln 0-2 at the end. Last night we had some action. Smoke and I were doing the North Lincoln, East Lincoln game, and East Lincoln pulled that out. It's a good game, close most of the way. They won it 70-62. Bandy's upset Lincoln 81-43 in overtime. I understand that Cordell Littlejohn was sick and didn't play for Lincoln. And Maiden lost to Lake Norman Charter 66-55. So there's some games that happened all last night. And that right now, that conference looks like it's up to grabs to get into more conference play and see how things shake out.
And you can listen to WLON for all the Lincoln County teams. I know Ken and Evan was on Lincoln County on WLON last night. And then this past Friday night, they was at Lincoln with the East Lincoln game. And Ken, you've seen East Lincoln. Is Lincoln the best team in the conference, even though they got beat?
Looking at Lincoln when they're full strength, I haven't seen Maiden, but I think Lincoln is probably the best team in the conference.
Cordell didn't play last night. Cordell was sick,
He did not play.
So he was ill. So anyway, wish him the best as well. Also, Ken, college basketball. You got Villanova, they're ranked number 1, 11-0. You got Michigan State, 10-1, number 2, and you got Arizona State, 10-0. Ken.
And then you got 3 ACC teams. Duke comes in at number 4, Carolina, UNC at number 5, and number 6 Miami. Virginia's another ACC team. They're out down there in number 13. So ACC is well represented. Tim, NC State is 9. Your NC State Wolfpack is 9-3 on the season, but they lost to UNC Greensboro.
I saw that
over the weekend, 81-76. Now they're coached by Wes Miller, who played for Carolina. He was a walk-on. He's been coaching there about 6 years, but they were 25-10 last year. So he got beat by a good team. That was a huge win for UNC Greensboro to beat the ACC team.
That's a big win, absolutely, for that program. I'm not worried about my Wolfpack. They're gonna be okay, Ken. They're gonna come along pretty good. I like what they're doing.
Tim, just a mention about something that I went to back many years ago. UNC Charlotte. I am a graduate and alumni. Their athletic program. In the last week, basketball coach Mark Price was fired 9 games into the basketball season. He's only in his 3rd year at Charlotte. His son plays on his team as a senior, and his daughter is assistant tennis coach at UNC Charlotte, and they fired him.
Sound like to me politics.
And the football team went 1-11 this year. They retained Coach Brad Lambert, but they fired 3 of his assistants. I tell you what, the alumni are upset. They're putting signs up in the basketball arena calling for AD Judy Rose to resign. They're calling for her resignation. She's been there a long time. But
time for her to go, ain't it?
They are not happy with how UNC athletics are going in these 2 revenue programs. Now, they're doing pretty good in other non-revenue sports, but you know what I do. Football and basketball, that's your money tickets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially football. So.
Yeah, football's gate ticket.
Major League Baseball, Tim, the Houston Astros got rich by winning that World Series. Each player got a bonus of $438,901. That's quite a bonus, Tim.
That's pretty good, ain't it?
$500,000 for winning the World Series. The losing Dodgers got $250,000, $259,000.
Also, Ken, I saw where Evan Longoria for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays was traded to the San Francisco Giants. Did you see that?
I hadn't seen that, but that's not like a good trade for the Giants.
Yeah, absolutely. He's
a good hitter.
Yeah, he is good. He's been a good player for the Rays
too. Good defensive third baseman.
Yep, he's played there for a good little while, Kenny. So he's did well. So congratulations to him, and of course all the Devil Rays out there. Ken, I sent out some Merry Christmas specials to everybody. Mike and Kathy Stamey, Scott Cloninger and his family, of course, all the listeners out there to WCSL 1590. Want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you guys here next Wednesday. I know, Kenny, you have a few people you want to shout out.
Well, I just want to echo what Tim said. I want to wish everybody, all our listeners out there, Merry Christmas and a safe rest of the year and a Happy New Year.
I want to say Merry Christmas to my wife. I want to tell her I love her so much. She's the best. She makes Christmas special for me every year. Guys, have a great Christmas, and we'll see you guys here next Wednesday, 4 to 5, every Wednesday, Kenny.
Yeah, we'll be talking about sports stories of the year next week.
So have a good week. Merry Christmas.
Down to Dixie's sunny shore, from Atlantic to
the only station you need at work.
All day long, constantly.
Big O Country, WCSL 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I begin my countdown of the top 70 country hits for 2017. Along the way, you'll hear my conversations with Garth Brooks, Kenny Chesney, Luke Bryan, Eric Church, Maren Morris, Jason Aldean, Keith Urban, Tim McGraw, and many more. That's this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA.
Me tonight, hurry down the chimney.
You know satellite radio's slogan, right?
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
We have a different idea.
We fight for freedom.
Radio the way it should be.
Your beach oldies and sports stations is The Boss. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, and W268CU Shelby.
NCN News. I'm Tony Rixby. The Republicans shifted briefly into party mode this afternoon after the House for the second time passed the tax cut bill. The Senate had passed it earlier today. Speaking alongside them at the White House, President Trump celebrated the new bill. Melanie Zanona is a reporter for The Hill.
It's the first legislative achievement that they've really been able to accomplish this year and put some points on the board. Trump, of course, is going to be touting the tax cuts for the middle class and the working voters, especially some of those who voted for him. But the question is, will they be able to actually feel this in their pockets in time for the midterm elections?
An Onslow County man charged with attempted first-degree murder after he was shot by a man he was trying to kill. Onslow County Sheriff's Office says multiple charges have been filed against 48-year-old William Bryant of Pollocksville. In Washington State, the cleanup continues from Monday's train accident when cars dropped from a railroad overpass onto I-5. Washington State Patrol Captain